Just in Parkersburg, West Virginia, we got a chance to sit down with Rich Walters, an advocate, a recovery champion, somebody who's sharing his story and helping a lot of people find their path, their way, their journey to recovery. He's doing a lot of crazy things, a lot of amazing things, and he's got a crazy and amazing story. On the road to recovery recently, Parkersburg, West Virginia, with Rich Walters.
All right, my name is Rich Walters. I'm from Parkersburg, West Virginia. I've been sober since April 28th, 2014. I come from a good family, man, in Parkersburg, West Virginia. Life was pretty good growing up. I don't come from the broken home. I don't. My parents are still together today. I'm the oldest of 4 kids. I have 3 younger sisters. And actually 3 out of 4 of us became drug addicts and alcoholics. Somewhere around it was in 7th grade. I was 13 years old. I'll never forget. I picked up drinking and drugging for the first time. I started drinking and smoking weed. It didn't take me long after that to get to a place where I absolutely fell in love with it. And I go into high school, and high school's pretty good, and I just end up becoming a full-blown alcoholic, and again I'm selling more drugs, and I'm smoking a ton of weed, and I'm doing a bunch of hallucinogens and so on and so forth. And it was a lot of fun though back then. That's all I remember. I remember I had a lot of fun doing that stuff. I went on to play college football at West Virginia University, and I was there in 98 and 99, and it just completely cut into my life of selling drugs and using drugs and getting drunk and stuff like that. It wasn't very long before I quit. Drugs had took an exhilarating role in my life, and they had basically all but taken over. But I didn't leave college, because if you know anything about Morgantown, West Virginia, or West Virginia University, it was perfect for my lifestyle, and I thrived in that environment. I left there in 2004, and I came, and I had a firm understanding that Morgantown was the problem. I came back to Parkersburg thinking I was going to leave the problem in Morgantown. I brought the problem with me, and it just magnified from then on out. I then met my first doctor in 2004, and I got a prescription of pain pills, which changed my life forever. At this point, I start using pain medication, and I suddenly switch from snorting cocaine to smoking crack. And then, the cycle. The pain pills start to progress more. I'm starting to take a higher dose and a higher level of pill, and I'm taking more and more of that. I'm doctor shopping all over the United States in order to do that. I'm from West Virginia, so there was a lot of pills already within the state. And my life spiraling out of control. In 2006, my Uncle Mike shot himself in the head as a direct result of untreated alcoholism. In 2010, I said, I'm done smoking crack. And I'm done with the pain medication, but that's only because I found ice and heroin. And then ice and heroin quickly evolved into me ordering research chemicals from China. I was arrested in that span of time, probably 40 plus times, maybe 50 times. I had a family who enabled me and would lawyer me up, bond me out no matter how high the bond was, and also pay for the best attorneys available. I was about 80 pounds underweight. I had died of overdose several times. I hadn't seen my little girl, who was born in 2005. I hadn't seen her for 2 or 3 years at that point in time. I was absent in her life because I'd truly physically transformed so bad, and I was afraid that she wouldn't even recognize me. April 28th, 2014 is when my life changed. I went into treatment. In that treatment center, I found my first sponsor, who completely rocked my world with a message of hope and changed my life forever. I never looked back from that day forward. I was also indicted while I was in treatment, so I had to finally face down this indictment sober. Prosecution said I was a menace to society, and they wanted to fry me. And when I showed up to court, the judge saw right through all that, saw a changed man. I was 8 months sober. I had my sponsor speak on my behalf, and he gave me alternative sentencing, and he suspended it for 3 years of supervised probation, which I had because I wasn't even a candidate for drug court because I was a drug dealer. God showed up in my life, and he showed up on many occasions, but he truly showed up, and I never looked back. From that day forward, I just got involved in recovery, and I truly made it my life. 2 years sober, my buddy starts the first meeting of Heroin Anonymous. I start the second meeting of Heroin Anonymous in Parkersburg, West Virginia, and they just completely snowballed and just blew up. And now it's a huge fellowship in our state, and lots of people are getting set free from addiction because of that. He started, and I helped co-start the Walk Against Heroin in Parkersburg, West Virginia, which is a massive event where we walk in the names of the people we have lost to overdose. From there forward, I've been a part of several substance abuse coalitions. I've worked in the treatment center space as a national outreach coordinator for a few facilities. I have an amazing life today. I have an amazing girlfriend. I have 3 of the most beautiful and amazing kids, and a beautiful and wonderful stepson who I absolutely adore and love. And I have a relationship with my family and a community that I help destroy. It's truly amazing to see what God can do to somebody. He took my mess and turned it into a message. And truly, I truly believe that people who are strung out on drugs, people who have the lowest bottoms, God is wanting to use them to become spiritual dynamos to go out and set the world on fire. Guys, if you're out there struggling and you don't think you can have the life of somebody like me in recovery, I'm going to tell you right now. I was a guy who was shooting up 40 to 50 bags of heroin a day. And it wasn't, by the time I was finished, I was shooting up powder fentanyl. I was a speedballer, so I was mixing that with a lot of speed as well. My life was in shambles. I had been arrested around the clock. I was covered in scabs from track marks from head to toe. I'm going to tell you right now, my life today is sick. It is absolutely amazing, man. I never dreamt that I would have a life this good, and it would be this amazing and have the people in it that I have.
Hey, Rich, thanks so much for sitting down with us and sharing your story, and thanks for all you do out there. The Parkersburg, heroin walk, and all the advocacy work you're doing in Ohio and throughout the country. Follow him on social media. I'm meeting incredible people in recovery, incredible stories. A lot of silos out there, a lot of people doing their own thing, but we all got to come together and speak with one voice, because if everyone comes together and we can band with one voice and one purpose, one mission, helping people find their journey, their path to recovery, we can change this world, we can change this pandemic, and we can get these kids to become a generation that ends addiction. I'm Michael DeLeon, and I'll see you on the next episode of On the Road to Recovery. Thank you so much for watching On the Road to Recovery. You can see this episode and all our episodes at www.recoveryarmy.com.